right, well, welcome back here to math class. We're going to find the next available page in our notebook. And we're going to go ahead and begin writing. Bo, that means for you, you get to write on the very first page because I think your math book might have been destroyed. All right, so we're going to go ahead and write 2.3 dividing mixed numbers. Now we need to make sure we understand what a mixed number is. So for example, a mixed number would look something like this. And yes, please write this down. We have something that's called a whole number. And of course, right here, we have something that's called a fraction. In order to divide with mixed numbers, we have to be able to take our mixed number and change it to an improper fraction. And we kind of have practiced that for a little bit. So for example, if I would give you 2 3/4, that's my mixed number. How would I change it to an improper fraction? Well, you remember we circle here. 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. And we keep the same denominator, and those two are equal. All right, so let's start with our first sample in our notes. Let's go ahead and put 2 2/3 divided by 2/3. Now, some of you already know how to do this. We're going to change this right here to an improper fraction. We circle. 2 times 3 is 6. 6 plus 2 makes 8. So we have a new number of 8. Keep the same denominator. Thirds divided by 2/3. Here's my new problem. Now the rule is keep, change, flip. Keep, change, and flip. Some of you have been paying attention to math class and you've noticed that I've been starting to look at numbers that are in the numerator and numbers that are in the denominator. You could actually simplify this. I see a 3 in the numerator, which is on the top, and a 3 in the denominator. That means they both have a factor of 3. I could simplify them by saying 3 goes into 3 once, and 3 goes into 3 once. I look again. I see a number in the numerator and the denominator that have a factor of 2. My factor of 2. 2 goes into 8 4 times, and 2 goes into 2 2 times. 2 goes into 2 times. Come on, now this is out. 2 goes into 2 one time. Multiply across the top. 4 times 1 is 4, and 1 times 1 is 1. And in my math class in the afternoon, we learned that this we will actually finish to make it the answer 4. Now, what if you're somebody that doesn't know their facts? So you had this was the problem, and so you just did 8 times 3 is 24, and 3 times 2 is 6. What is 24 divided by 6? They both have common factors here of 6. My answer is 4/1, which equals the same answer. Okay, so whether you know how to simplify or you don't, you still will always get the same answer. All right, so last week our special word was reciprocal. This week our special word is called quotient. And quotient means the answer that you got for the division problem. So our quotient is 4. All right, I need to find a new spot in my book. All right, so I found a new spot in my notebook here, and the problem I have written is the mixed number 3 5/6 divided by 1 2/3. We need to change those to improper fractions. 3 times 6 is 18. 18 plus 5 should be 23, so I have 23. Keep the same denominator. 1 times 3 is 3, plus 2 is 5. Keep the same denominator. Now, if you notice, for those of you that are speed deming through this, I went ahead and rewrote the problem. I went ahead and changed my improper fractions. I have not done keep, change, flip yet. I need to make sure I have the right numbers here. Some of us like to work too fast, and we can make simple mistakes. Dividing with fractions says keep, change, and flip, or reciprocal. Let's pretend I don't know how to simplify in here. Some of you see the 3 and 6. You can do that. So I do 23 times 3. 23 times 3 happens to be 69 over 6 times 5 is 30. I look on my common factor sheet, and I notice that they both have a factor of 3. 3 times what would be 69? 3 times 23, and 3 times 10. So my simplified answer is 23 tenths. That is improper. So I could actually change it to 2 and 3 tenths. Okay, these are my 2 answers. This is not simplified. This is. Remember, my answer to the division problem is called quotient. Okay, the next problem I have is something we would call order of operations. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So in our notes, we're going to write the mixed number 5 and 1/4 divided by the mixed number 1 and 1/8 minus 2/3. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to change all of our mixed numbers to improper, which means we need to change this one and this one. Once again, 5 times 4 is 20, plus that 1 makes 21, and our denominator stays as 4. Copy my division symbol. 1 times 8 is 8, plus that 1 makes 9. Keep my denominator. And this one is already as a fraction, so we'll leave it. Yes, I want you to rewrite the problem like this before you begin. According to order of operations, parentheses, nope. Exponents, nope. Multiplying and dividing, we have some dividing right there. So this is what we're going to do first. How do we divide with fractions? We keep, we change, and we flip. Let's see, and we're going to say 21 times 8. 21 times 8, let's see. Well, some of us are going to simplify, but let's go ahead and not simplify. So we have 168, and 4 times 9 is 36. Are we finished? No, we're not finished, because don't forget, we still have the minus 2/3. So now that we've done the division problem, now we're going to bring everything down and do this. Wow, this looks a little challenging. We haven't done anything like this. We have in our 5-a-day realized that we cannot subtract unless we have a common denominator. Some of you have simplified this, which is fine. And some of you have gone ahead and said, well, let's just leave this as a 36. If I leave this as a 36, I have to make that as a 36. So I'm going to put my subtraction problem over here, so that it looks how we've been doing it in our 5-a-day. So this minus, now this is 2/3. What can I multiply 3 so that I can keep it to 36? Let's see. I think 3 times 12. 3 times 12 is 36. And so 2 times 12 is 24. Those of you that already simplified here and found your common denominator, let's see if you get the same answer that I get. So I have to do 168 minus 24. Well, 8 minus 4 is 4. 6 minus 2 is 4. And then I have 144 over 36. Oh, that looks pretty large. I think I probably can simplify that. Let's see. I'm just going to divide it by 2 first so I can get it a little bit smaller, which is going to be 72 over 18. Now I'm going to look at my common factor sheet, and I'm going to say, what goes into both? Oh, I know that 6 goes into both. Let's see, 72 divided by 6. 6 times what? That's 12. And 6 times 3 is 18. Oh, I can go even smaller because 12 divided by 3 actually is a whole number of 4. Now, the way that I solved it is not the only way to solve it. Some of you actually simplified way up here, and so you dealt with smaller numbers. All right, for today, I have a secret word to see if you've been listening to my math lesson. The secret word is spaghetti. Spaghetti. In the corner down here in your math book, would you please write the word spaghetti? I will spell it S-P-A-G-H-E-T-T-I. Spaghetti. All right, you may go ahead and shut your video off and return to math class.